Hi, I'm Rob and this is Gems of War. In this video I'm going to show a couple of teams I'm going to use for this Grand Theft Mech World event. I think this is vaguely slightly unfair on newer players myself because the troops you can pick from, it's very limited on what you can do in getting this done in a decent time frame. It's going to be a little bit of a grind unless you have literally one certain troop, but I'll show the team I think is best for newer players, and then as I progress into the game I'll change to the team which I'm going to use for the rest of it if you have access to those higher level mythic troops. But first things first, what I always recommend you do is literally go to the rewards and get these absolutely straight away. This is an event you take part in with your guild, therefore all your guild are going to be doing it at the same time, and as such you will have stages probably already completed when you come to this. And when you do that, you will gain some tokens. They're coming up, wait for it. There you go, token of iron. Got 4 of them straight away. We can see what we get here. Orb of wisdom, yay. The badge will eventually evolve. There you go, and what you should do now is then also go to the shop and at least grab a tier 1 if you have the required gems. This is going to give you a potion of enchantment, which means all your troops will start enchanted at the start of each and every battle. As well as that, you get some extra troops and extra gold and event sigils and other stuff at the same time. Now when you go to the fight, if you go to it straight away, it will probably remind you about getting your medal equipped, but if it doesn't, you should always remember to do that anyway. Just go up to your medals, go down to the medal we just had. There it is, badge of iron. Slot it in there and you'll get the bonus damage now. That is really important to do. Now I'm going to show the team I'm going to use for this as a newer player. This is the kind of team you want to go for, but on the enemies, always go for the legendaries first. I'll put the scoring in the description below, and then obviously the lower ones are worth less points, but I'll put the full scoring below in the description. But for the team for this, like I say, I do think this is vaguely unfair for newer players because there's literally just one troop that is non-mythic, which is particularly useful in this. That is Peng Long. He's the only one that does damage to all enemies, and it is boosted by enchanted allies. And if you're a new player, you're going to be doing, I think, just 1 damage to all enemies at first, so it's pretty hard going. If you're a newer player, there are other troops that are going to do good damage, and you can go about it in a different way. Like Holy St. Astra gives life and armor to all allies. And you can use something like a Paladin, deal damage to an enemy boosted by my armor. So that is a good way to do it because Holy St. Astra is going to boost the armor up, and then that will do damage. That way you can actually have a couple of those in the team. That would be a good way to go about it if you're a newer player. But if you have a Peng Long and your magic level is reasonable, this is a decent way to go about it at first. Like I say, after this I will show my team when there's no real restrictions on, you know, like mythic level troops and things like that. So what I'm going to do on this one is we're going to have Divine-ish Bala. All Divine allies start with 40% mana, transforms red to skulls and green to yellow. Can have Holy St. Astra, she's divine and human. Gives life and armor to all allies and creates a light storm and enchants all humans. Peng Long deals damage to all enemies boosted by enchanted allies. So obviously goes well with Holy St. Astra. And I'm going to have this weapon here, Stoneflight, deals splash damage to an enemy, and if there's a storm, deal double damage. This is quite a handy weapon because you can force a storm. We're in War Priest at the moment, but I'm going to change that if that is the other human class you can have to benefit from when Holy St. Astra casts, you will get enchanted. But it's probably better to go straight for the non-human class. But at the beginning, it's going to be actually better, actually this, because you're going to get that spell ready to cast straight away. We'll kill the enemies nice and quickly with Peng Long and this weapon. But as the fights go on, you're definitely going to want to change the class to... Where are you? Stormcaller. The reason is you're going to get bonus yellow from this, and you're going to get a light storm when my turn begins, which means literally every single round. So with our weapon dealing double damage if there's a storm, then that is going to be a really important thing, because if there's a storm, deal a double damage. It's quicker to deal a double damage with a single cast than it is to cast once, cast Holy St. Astra, get enchanted, and then cast again. If you know what I mean, it's like it'll be just quicker. So that is a good way to go about it. Divine Ishbala is not completely essential in this team. She just fits in it quite nicely because she uses purple. But for a beginning team, for newer players, this is the way I would go about it. I haven't actually picked the banner yet, but what we're not using blue. Actually, I'll go about it a different way. Let's just do that. It makes more sense. That's good, but not perfect because of the minus purple. That's not bad, but we don't want minus green in particular. Don't want to lose it on Peng Long. And extra boost for Holy St. Astra. It's not too bad. I'll go with that one. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so I'll show this team first. So all our troops are starting with at least 50% mana, which is really, really cool. That gets our Peng Long up absolutely straight away. You can cast that, and it's going to initially at least wipe out the opposition in a single cast. Extra event sigils, which is nice. Always grab the highest level troops which you can. They're always going to be worth the most points. There's no obvious red. Might as well grab the yellow. This splash damage, always put it on the second or third troops. If you put it on the top troop or the bottom troop, you're missing out on the effect of the splash damage, because the splash damage obviously affects the troop you just hit and then the troops immediately adjacent. Well, sometimes there's no point even looking, because we're going to just be ready in no time anyway. May as well just get any sort of a gem match. Peng Long is ready on the next round. I mean, unfortunately, if you don't have a Peng Long, like I say, there's no other, on the troop side of things, way of hitting all enemies. You may as well go with something like Holy St. Astra and then a couple of Paladins maybe, because she's going to then boost up their life, their armor, their damage will boost it up like that as well. That's a pretty good way to go about it. Got this now with Divine Ishbala if we want. Nice little conversion there. Peng Long can mop up. War Machine. Grab that. One. Got left with one. That's okay. Ironjaw. I do like the art on some of this stuff. Some of it's pretty bad and a bit lackluster, but some of it is actually surprisingly good. Do you like to always start these events with a troop or team that does damage to all? It's by far the quickest way of getting going through the start of these events. Especially with that potion of enchantment. Well, a potion of enchantment and a 50% start, you're absolutely flying. That's a bit lame. Blimey. Okay. Give you a bash then. That's how you want to be. Tartarus. Tarts are us. My mind boggles about that shop. This is where you can, it's good, you don't have to cast her, but she's good for the later levels, especially if you're a newer player and you need to keep your troops nice and strong. In fact, if you're a newer player, the way I'd probably go about it is, if you've got a Peng Long, this is certainly good with Holy St. Astra, but as the Peng Long gets more powerful, you maybe want to swap this weapon out for one that has a summon at the same time. Always good to have a summon, and put that somewhere else. So we'll just do a few more fights with this one, because this is pretty much the way this team is gonna work. Then I might show a different alternative, which you could probably use as well. Get some cheap early damage in. Peng Long's ready next round anyway, so any match will do. So you can cast Divine Spider now if you like, just for a bit of variety and a bit of fun. And that splash damage will hit the enemy in the middle, and that finishes them off. Oops. Nice bit of yellow there. So super duper easy. Alright, let's do another one or two fights with this one, and I'll show a couple of alternative teams. Say for example you don't have Peng Long. We'll make a team up on the fly as if you don't have Peng Long. Actually, let's hit him with this first. Ishbala's nearly ready. You may as well cast that. No, look at that. Then we can finish him off. Right, so if you didn't have a Peng Long, that's still a good weapon, this one, because splash damage, you're going to take out 3 enemies at first anyway. But I'll show you the effect of what happens if you have a Paladin in the team instead of a Peng Long. He's divine, so he'll start at 50% mana. Of course, you can go to a divine setup as well with this one if you want, because you've got Divine Ishbala here as well. That purple at the bottom. See, with Paladin at first, the boost is plus 146, but it's to an enemy. That's for me though, so it will vary upon your magic level. But like I say, if your magic is low at first, then it's going to get boosted anyway by when you cast Holy St. Astra, because she gives life and armor. Yeah, we'll do this. Lots of conversions there. No. Wiped him out, didn't give me a chance to look at the boost that was on Paladin once it was boosted by Holy St. Astra. I'll look at it this time and get that done absolutely straight away this time. Right, so initially we got a boost of plus 146. This is going to be most relevant, obviously, on the later levels when you want to hit enemies with a single shot and get rid of them absolutely straight away. Let's get Holy St. Astra cast. So we're on a boost right now of 146. When we cast Holy St. Astra, that is boosted up. His armor, we're now on plus 191. So that is a decent jump. Yeah, you can use him to just blast an enemy away with a single shot. Single shot. Single shot hot. So I'll just do a couple more with this and then I'll show my team if you have no real limit on the troops you are available to pick from. 3 Skull Bash there. That'd be yellow and that'd be dead because of the splash damage. Right, one more and then I will change. This team's always just a case of just brown will do. It's like teams are going to be ready to go quite quickly anyway. You can use Paladin to get rid of that first troop because that's not going to be affected by the splash damage. That's why you want to hit that one first. And then enchant our top troop, which means we can just hit them with a splash damage and get it done. Okay, if you have access to mythic level troops, then this is the kind of team that I quite like. It's very straightforward. Haven't used Guard's Avatar much for a very long time, but it's pretty handy in a team like this. We're going to use Divine-ish Bala to give all Divine allies a 40% start in mana. Then we've got Holy St. Astra, who is Divine and Human, but humans get a 50% start with mana, and she gives life and armor to all allies. Broken Guard gives 50 in my case armor and 5 attack to all allies, and if there are 13 or more yellow gems, give 4 life and magic to all allies, thus boosting them up even further. The damage dealer here is Guard's Avatar. Deals a low amount of damage at first to all enemies, but boosted by his armor. Burn undead and silence daemon enemies. We don't really care about that second part of the spell. It's boosted by his armor, which is the main part of his spell. That is going to get boosted up considerably. He gets 4 armor when an ally casts a spell. When Holy St. Astra casts, she's going to boost his armor up even more. And when Broken Guard casts, it also goes up even more. So we can judge it by how much we need to get rid of the enemy on a single cast. We're going to be in Priest class for this. And the banners are going to be +2 yellow, +1 green, -1 blue. And like I say, Priest class, pretty handy. Gain bonus yellow, all allies heal 2 points per turn. And the talent trees I'm going for Serendipity, Purification, Golem Protector, Dawn's Aura. Could have Leading Light, that's not a bad thing to have on that one. Healing Herb. Tree of Knowledge is nice. And Divinity. So let's dive in. Nice start on the mana for the team. Cast that onto the team now. We've got 202 boost. The boost now is +101, so that is pretty good. That's to all enemies as well. So you can cast Holiston Astra as well to get a further boost. Now on 247 armor, the boost is now plus 123. Cast that and they are long gone. It was overkill really, but very easy. Very nice and quick as well. Yeah, let's go to this deep golem. As opposed to his sister, the shallow golem. Maybe. Thank goodness for our yellow storm, because there's hardly any there whatsoever right now. Maybe some appearing now. Yes, there was. So he starts off, the boost is plus 74. So 84, 94, 95. We're still going to have enough to kill the enemy when he's ready to cast. But the point is, as you do the harder levels, then basically you want to cast Holiston Astra first, or the weapon first, or both, to give him a considerable boost, and then instant death. Right, let's get the next level. Show a couple more battles with this. See, I don't actually like the Potion of Explosion that much. The amount of times there's actually a better start. Look, you've got a really nice mana surge sort of thing at the beginning, and then the Potion of Explosion comes along and actually messes that up, and it's like gives you less mana than what you would have done. And it's it can go against you. It'd be a nice touch if you could actually choose which ones to apply. As I get this 4-match yellow there. Let's boost up our armor and our damage. Probably didn't need to, but it's probably quicker to actually just do that than it is to look at it and then start working things out whether you need to do that or not. You could have just literally cast the weapon, increasing guards' avatars' damage, and then cast it in the same time it took you to try and work out if you had to do that or not. Well, that's how it is for me anyway. Just do it anyway. Ah, see, it wasn't actually quite enough. I should have actually held back. Have we got this with Ishbala? Red to skulls, green to yellow. The green to yellow is a really, really nice thing for her a lot of the time, but nope, can't see anything going there, but just for fun I'll cast it anyway. Not as if they're going to do much in general, just a mere flesh wound. Hasta la vista, baby. Right. Note to self, start casting the weapon and Holiston Astra. No yellow. Pick up that red though. Extra turn there on yellow, but didn't need it. Not too worried about that. There's lots of ways you can go about a team like this. You can have a Dawnbringer based team. Dawnbringer would work really well in this kind of event. Cast her again. Might as well cast this again because it's ready. Now we've got a mega boost. Plus 151. Okay, it was virtually done without really doing much. Yeah, let's do this last one. Tartarus, level 100. Let's cast that first. Then Holiston Astra. Might as well look around for red to skulls, green to yellow, because if there's a nice conversion like here, then that's worth doing. You may get some random skull hits at the same time, which are always nice, and you can just cast this again. Let's see how pokey we can get our Guard's avatar. What's your now? Plus 178. More than enough. Right, so there's a couple of teams, a few teams there to play around with on this event. It seems a little bit limited on what you can choose, but if you've got Peng Long as a newer player, it's okay. And again, if you've got Paladin, it's okay as well. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But there's teams. If you enjoyed the video, why not hit that like and subscribe button, because it's a good thing to do. Thanks for watching. Catch you again next time. Bye for now.